Episode of The Infinity Watch, the
Yes.
best superhero after show that hashtag show has to offer. Isn't that right, Daniel?
It's the only one airing right now.
I mean,
just saying hiatus happened.
You didn't even tell the people you were going on a hiatus, did you?
Well, no, I mean the shows did, so whatever. So did the movie universe, but whatever. Hey, it's not about DC's failing, crippling universe.
No.
We're here to talk about Marvel.
We are.
Right? We're the Infinity Watch. We're sitting on the precipice of time, looking out and watching everything that happens with Marvel.
What happened this week? I don't think much happened.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's one giant company tries to buy another giant company, and due to those two giant companies buying things, ultimately the Simpsons were right. So that's what happened.
Disney has purchased 20th Century Fox, which I never thought would ever happen. So I'm eating my words. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, what we're looking forward to is Disney owning every and anyone. Like, that's the whole thing. I mean, have you noticed, have you paid attention to see all the logos that pretty much connect to what Disney will be connected to?
Oh, yeah. It's like Disney and ABC and then the sports networks and then Hulu. And it's just nuts because back in June, it was like this deal was killed. It wasn't happening. In November, they reiterated this is not happening. The deal is killed. And then in the last week, they really just, they went for it. And I wonder what happened.
Did you throw the logos up that we put up there? I mean, it's just like, just some of them. Give people an idea of what now Disney's far reach will be. I'm not saying I'm against the mouse. I mean, I love the mouse. Hey, mouse, how you doing?
The House of Mouse?
The House of Mouse. Well, it's the real House of M, honestly, because if you don't speak nice of the mouse, they may kill us. So
this was a $52.4 billion deal. $billion deal, which actually seems pretty low.
If I could get just 10% of that, 1%,
then you'll be good.
You know what I could do with my life? It would be amazing.
Well, the FTC and the Justice Department, Antitrust Department, or whatever it is, they still have to approve the deal. So it is not finalized. This could take another 12 to 18 months before anything really goes through. So what are your initial thoughts on this, Daniel?
Yes, please, because with it, that means there are going to be some assets. There's going to be some things that they get to have that I am so ready for. Like, just looking at the pictures up before, I mean, now, there's Disney, NBC will still own Hulu with them, and there's a connection there, but 20th Century Fox. Well, my concern is the whole monopoly worry.
Right, which is funny because the FTC blocked AT&T from purchasing Time Warner Cable for $74 billion just a couple months ago.
Right.
So I wonder how this slipped through. Of course, it still has to be approved, but AT&T was blocked before they could even, go to the table to do any kind of paperwork on this.
So the thing is, all right, going down, giving us a breakdown because you are the professional that you are. Give us a little breakdown of exactly what they are going to have or own. Like, how does the breakdown work? Okay, for example, I'll shoot out things. You tell me how it's going to work.
All right.
So with Hulu, with Hulu, we know that they have a partnership with like NBC Universal, and Disney already has their hands in it, and so does Fox. Does Disney now get the Fox shares?
They do.
Hulu?
So Disney is going to control the majority share over at Hulu, which brings up the question: do they really need to create their own streaming service, or should they just move all their assets from Netflix to Hulu? And Fox doesn't really have a home for streaming. They just have their stuff on Fox On Demand or FX On Demand, or FX at the movies. But they're not really committed to a streaming service as of now.
Exactly. So with that being the case, putting that through, what's going to happen with, is Disney still going to go through with their whole streaming service? Or are they just going to say, forget it, we'll just go ahead and kind of push NBC Universal out the way and take over everything for Hulu? Well,
because Josh, one of our writers, wrote an article earlier this week, why move? And you could say you want to make it more family friendly, but Netflix and I believe Hulu already has a kids feature where you can filter all the adult content out.
Yeah, that's not my thing.
So they're spending so much money. I mean, Well, you're gonna spend so much more money to make another streaming service. I mean, I believe that Disney will do it. So
Disney has the money to do whatever they want, and they will do whatever they want, and that's where the problem comes in, where it's like, God, you're just spending money, you're just throwing money at a situation. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God, I have a drunk daughter here, and that just takes care of it. But it's not going to help everybody.
So if this goes through, basically Disney will have everything from Fox except Fox News, Fox Sports, and the Fox lot.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. So.
And the lot is one of the original 6 studios in Hollywood. Well, not technically in Hollywood, but in LA. So people are just like really worried what's going to happen to that lot because it has so much rich history in it. And with this monopoly, it's just crazy.
Oh, you're saying the horrible word there, monopoly. Let's not say that. Disney would never do such a thing. How could you say that about Disney? Such a good and reputable company.
But this
How could you say such a thing?
I mean, the mouse. Come on, people die at Disney World. It's dark. It's a dark place.
No one. What are you talking about? People die at Disney. People die of Disney World of happiness.
I know.
That's all that happens at Disney World. No, but honestly, I'm afraid of the mouse. So, with that being the case, so now going from the Hulu thing to now covering all the streaming and the Hulu and everything like that, film. What's going to happen with, of course, well, the biggest worry that we're all having is, well, a lot of people are talking about the MCU. Now, with it being brought in or purchased, there's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of, well, where are we going to go from here?
But since that's going to take up the bigger part of the conversation, I also just want to remind people that it's not only the Fox MCU that's affected here. You've got titles such as like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Aliens franchise, Predator, Kingsman was under Fox.
God.
Oh
my God.
The Simpsons, the X-Files, which is why people are just like, they didn't expect for all of 20th Century Fox to get sold. Everyone was expecting just for Marvel to get their characters back.
Yeah, all the things that pretty much someone, I won't say a name, Joe Quesada and other people, happened to sell when they were talking about being bankrupt. And because of that, now, hey, we're all scrambling to get everything back because now we are under the mouse and now we have power. So it's just, it's kind of weird for me because it's like, honestly, the dedication of Marvel, where was it years ago? And now where is it? And it just feels like Marvel's like, well, cash grab, but under the guise of, because we care about our properties and we've always loved everything. But the truth is, it's like, no.
But should the blame be just set on Disney? Because let's face it, Fox was not one of these like fledgling studios. Like they were doing okay financially. I mean, I would expect Sony or who had a bad year this year? No, I think it was Sony.
It was Sony.
And Paramount. They had a real trash of a year. Like dumpster fire.
God. Yeah, it literally
especially at
was.
Paramount. So it's just surprising because all of their IPs are very lucrative. They have Firefly and again Buffy and X-Files and Simpsons and Fox Searchlight.
Well, you say lucrative,
FX.
You say lucrative, and you say Buffy, and you say Firefly. Though they're big cult ones, I know that for sure.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, but they're big cults. But were they truly successful?
Yeah, and syndication, they are. People
true.
still
They
buy
make ridiculous amounts of money for it.
syndication rights to that.
See, and that's well, also that, and then also in print, they have comics that they put out, and they'll run long, and then they'll stop and close them out, and then people are like, well, we need them again, so they come back again, and multiple times.
And the big one is Avatar. Avatar also goes.
Oh, God. That's true. With Avatar, it's just so much money that's happening.
I mean, we don't know how much money the sequel's going to make. It's, 10 years later? More than that. 15 years later since the original one? I don't know.
True. I mean, well, okay. If you can predict, not even the amount, just will it be successful? Yes,
I think it'll be successful because people will be curious. But whether 3 and 4 are going to be, successful, who knows?
It's going to be a 4?
Yeah.
I knew that.
Cameron is shooting 3 of them simultaneously.
Well, I mean, that's the way to do it because you don't want to, all right, I'm going to shoot this one.
He shoots, one day it'll be for the second movie, and the next day it might be for the 4th movie. No lie.
Serious?
No lie.
Oh, well, depending on what we got set up and I get it. Wow. James Cameron.
Well, while you wrap your head around that, I'm going to say hi to the people in the chat here.
Yeah,
Thanks
sorry,
for
guys.
joining us. It's okay. You can take your breath. Hey, Jalen. Hey, Katz. What's up, Anna Miles? Edward Sanchez Productions. Tom Craven. Ryan. And Daniel.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, I don't know.
And Daniel is
I'm
here.
most likely there. Anyway, yeah, shout out to all you guys there. Also, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Might as well.
Housekeeping?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a weird thing there. It's an S in the chat, and that S is for support. Remember that, guys. And you can help support that hashtag show by using that S, because the chat goes quick. It goes fast. We're talking about things that we're going a mile a minute, and sometimes we just can't keep up. We're trying to make sure we entertain you guys, inform you guys, and still be able to interact with you guys. So, doing all... Oh, those 3 eyes. Oh, my God. Look at that.
Look at you.
Anyway, yeah, since we're doing that, sometimes everything goes pretty quick, pretty fast. What's up, Jamal?
Too fast for Daniel.
Exactly.
Can't read that fast.
Sometimes I need things highlighted. Because if not, I'm not going to do it. That's how I passed through college. Everything has to be highlighted for me. So if you guys can, every once in a while, click on that support button, type in your message, and if you have to pay anything, it's going back to the show. So this way we can give you... I didn't say. I said pay anything. It comes right back to you guys. So this way we're able to really communicate with you. So that's what makes it great. Well, wait, there's a comment here.
Also, we sell T-shirts over at the T Public Store. What?
Right? Since Migdalia said she'd eat her words, are her words vegan?
Of course.
Of
course, no animals were harmed in the making of this sentence.
Exactly. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes.
That's great. Anyway.
We also have our T Public Store, which doesn't have the shirt that you're wearing.
Not anymore, unfortunately. This was a gift.
Man.
This was a gift.
Let's move this so people can see.
Oh, hey, guys. See this? It's a Power Rangers shirt, mix up with friends, blah, blah. This is the kind of smart stuff that you guys will get on our TeePublic store, right? So it's teepublic.com/that#show store. Yes. Go there, description, boom, it's already there in the thing. You guys can just, click on it and buy some shirts. Everything's usually on sale, so it's fine. And last but not least,
our THS hashtaggers page over on Facebook. Please join that group so we can continue the conversation after the show.
Yes.
And now we'll get back to the show.
Let's back to it.
Let's get back to the show. Okay, all right. So, what are you most excited for with this acquisition? What are you most excited about? What do you want to see scrapped or come through or not to change?
Fine, I want to talk about it. Get this asset ready. Hashtag BPC. Black power couple. I need to see this happen. I need T'Challa, I need Oru, I need Storm and Black Panther together. Maybe we could get that done for Black Panther 2, because we're missing out on it on 1. But come on, guys. Seeing those two come together, it would be great. They're like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of Marvel Comics, guys. Let's make this happen. We can have our Lemonade and then our 444, put it together. It's something that's beautiful. Come on. Come on. I would love to see it happen.
I know.
It would be a great story. Ta-Nehisi Coates could go ahead and write the whole thing.
They can cast Naomi Harris, who was my casting choice weeks back.
Seriously. Come on. We already got Black Panther happening. We've got the Disney side with the, Lion King. So it's like, hashtag Black Excellence is happening everywhere. You might as well just bring it right there. We can get some Black Boy Joy in there. I don't care. Just make it a thing, because I would love to see those two, because one, they are really strong characters. Not even putting all the jokes aside, they're strong characters that unfortunately never really get to be fleshed out. And we're getting a chance with Black Panther. I think we truly owe it to the character of Storm, because we have done some bad things to Storm. Namely Halle Berry and the nameless one. What is her name? The other one?
Alexandra Shipp.
There you go. And nameless, as I said. They've been on there and
it's not their fault. The writers of X-Men cannot write women. They can't. All the female characters blow, and it's none of the actresses' fault.
It's horrible because there are so many strong female characters in Marvel, but unfortunately, we can't get one person to say, "Hey, let me sit down and actually write something good for them." It won't happen. And we talked about that last week and a week ago. I'm not going into it. The misogyny in Marvel, I'm not. I mean, it's the reason why it starts with an M and an M. I'm not going into it, but
apparently they're making some stances with Simon Kinberg's Dark Phoenix take. They're like, this is the film for the women. And
see, they're saying that, but are they really?
I don't know.
I mean,
Anna just shouted Wakanda forever. We should
we
our
did
show.
that. Ready?
Yeah.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Wakanda forever!
That's it. There you guys got it. You're welcome.
There
It's
you
gonna
go.
be like a meme. It's gonna be the meme moment. They're gonna go crazy for it.
Who makes the memes here? Is that Jalen?
Larry does them. Jalen sometimes does them. So you know that was your meme
Jalen's
moment,
focused
guys.
on his play that he's trying.
Not playing,
over at
dude.
Tate.
He's not playing. It's like an actual show. He wrote a script for it, didn't he?
Oh,
Like that?
oh, sorry, because we were talking about the radio play last week. That's
Oh,
why
yeah,
I had that in my head.
That's right. No, it is a play then. You are right. Because on Gingerdale, he's writing a TV show. He's doing so much.
He should be a writer for my show.
Seriously. God, you're doing so much more than I ever will with my life.
So yeah, that's one of the highlights, that they can bring Storm the character into Black Panther, which might be one of the easiest X-Men to actually transition or bring over.
Well, yeah, exactly. I would love that. But I mean, going into it, there are a lot of things that we can't expect. Things that we would like to see. I know I just stole your number one by saying that, because you're the one that brought
No, that's not my number one.
Oh,
do you want to know what my number one is?
Oh god. Oh god, I don't want to know.
Gambit is not happening. I'm gonna call it right now.
Just show the picture.
It is
just show the picture so I can laugh at it real quick.
Sorry, Lauren Donner Scholler. It is over. It's not gonna
that's
happen.
a good thing. You're happy that it's not happening?
Yes, I was against this from the start.
Come on.
Especially
Everyone
the casting decision.
Everyone wants a stripping Cajun. What is wrong with that? Look at that. Look at that. That is a face that I want to see. I want to see that guy, hey, Cher, with a really bad like Cajun accent. I can fling cards. Yeah, he'll like it would
Like
be
his
really
bloated
great and
like
bad.
face just like squished in that thing that Gambit wears. I don't even know what to call it.
It's gonna look bad. It's gonna look, like when you have, like when you're making like rolls or something, and just at that moment when you're pushing down, just, it's gonna pop. That's gonna look like that when you have his face in that little thing Gambit wears, and you're like, all right, we're done with the shoot. It's gonna be just like that. Like, you're gonna see it pop out. That potato head he has. It's gonna be really
Channing
hard.
potato head. Listen, I have nothing against the guy. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a great comedic actor.
Yeah, he's really great. Hello, ladies from Jersey.
But I'm not gonna buy him as Gambit. So stop trying to sell me that, Fox. Okay? I'm just gonna call it. Disney's gonna scrap that right now. What do you think?
I mean, I loved him on This Is the End. That was. Oh wait, that wasn't like a full role. That was like a.
He was on 21 and 22 Jump Street.
True, he was on Kingsman.
Kingsman.
And I love Kingsman, so I mean,
What's gonna happen with Kingsman? I mean, they already came out.
Oh, they better not.
They already came out and said that Deadpool is gonna stay rated R, and they don't mind making rated R films as long as the audience gets the heads up and there's a reason for it. So I don't think the vibe of Kingsman is gonna change at all. I'm not too sure what how the last movie did though. It kind of went out with a whimper. I'm not sure what the financial figures are.
I don't even know. It's just like, it was gone. Now they're like, hey, get it on demand, and it was like, wow, that was pretty bad. And they're like, Blu-ray next week. What the hell?
Yeah.
The movie just came out. Like,
So I don't know if there's gonna be a third one, but
I do love it though.
Andy asked Migdalia, you sure you don't have anything against Channy? You sure? I don't.
Andy, thank you. She has been
Listen, I
talking
love
so
Heath
much
Ledger
smack.
to death, but when he was announced as Joker, I lost my shit, and not in a good way.
Oh God!
I was just
Wow.
like,
She was like,
"Are you
"Diarrhea."
serious?" No, because I was just like, he was like the '90s teen hunk
That's true.
guy.
That is
I
true.
couldn't see it. Then Brokeback Mountain came out, so I was just like, I think he could do it.
Oh, so
I think he could do it.
I'm not even gonna do it. That was the joke. I'm not even gonna go into.
Jamail says, I think we can tie Storm origins into Xavier's solo movie against Shadow King and Magneto. What? You just created a whole thing here.
Okay, what's going on?
Sorry, I should probably pre-read these right now.
Well, the Shadow King thing and Storm and blah blah. That was
Okay, Serenity, you came in late, hun. We already covered that in the beginning of the show, so rewind.
Ooh, girl.
Yes,
you start with Serenity today, because Serenity will cut you.
That's okay. That's why I love Serenity to come in here, because he makes things interesting.
Serenity is that one.
But no, again, like we said at the start of the show, it could take about 12 to 18 months because the FTC still has to approve the acquisition. What were we talking about? Gambit? And you were like making biscuit popping jokes?
Yeah, well, now from Gambit going into it, you did mention Deadpool.
Yes.
And it's no secret that when it comes to it, Ryan Reynolds is like, this is my film. I've been working on this for essentially a decade, and I need this to happen. It was a master stroke when he went ahead and said, oh, this test footage was leaked. Come on, man. It was worked on so well. It was so beautiful when they actually put it out. And it's like, oh, yeah, it was leaked. Oh, what? The fans wanted, I guess. Who? Studio Fox? Yes, let's do it. It was genius.
Yeah.
And so since then, he's been working on any and everything to do with Deadpool. So it's pretty cool to see that, you know, he still loves this property. It's like, this is my baby. It's going to keep happening. Yeah. And the whole tweet with the Matterhorn thing, that was smart. It's one. Also a great way to advertise. And that's something that I gotta say, when it comes to SEO, when it comes to anything like that, Ryan Reynolds, I don't know who his team is, but genius. I mean, something quick, simple, you can do with Photoshop, boom, let's get it done, and let's shoot something.
He's got someone on standby.
Definitely.
You have to make my Twitter meme.
Yeah, right? But I love it because it's funny, it's still within the character and things like that, but it lets us know that, hey, someone is speaking for the fans. And it's actually someone that's directly connected with it. So I love it, and I'm glad that we are getting the rated R film.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not going to
it's already made.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just going to have to put it together after all the effects and blah, blah, blah. Maybe he'll get his Photoshop people working on it. I don't know. But still, it's great that it's happening. And I'm excited for it. But how excited are you for it?
What, Deadpool?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I'm excited what's going on in the chat, though.
Ooh, Lord, what's happening in the chat?
People are getting really amped up in here. So, Serenity says, either way, you think Fox is going to go 18 months without making any films? Not going to happen. Gambit is supposed to film in February, so we will see. Let's just say this doesn't happen.
Okay.
I think they're going to retool the deal to still get their characters back. So, yes, I think Fox will stop any productions on Marvel-based characters. I think that is a possibility. They still have so many properties. This is not just about Fox MCU here.
Right.
This is about the entirety of whatever 20th Century Fox, Fox Searchlight. Fox had another indie company, I forgot. And then FX. So that's all under one umbrella.
Shoot.
So I think, they will cancel Gambit if they want to.
And if they do, I mean, but the thing is, so many people are waiting for it, and you gotta still remember, if they do make this deal happen, Disney's like, well, now Gambit's on our shoulders. We can't be rude and screw our fans in that way.
Because now they, you know, this deal basically just has to be approved. So they got to the contract stage. So now they're talking like, all right, well, where are we going to take these characters? Which brings me to Andy's comment. Serious question, though. How big are the chances that the X-Men film Brain Trust, Singer, Schooner, Donner, Kinberg, are going to be done after Dark Phoenix because of Disney?
Well, Singer's already done.
Yeah.
But let's see about anyone
Singer
else.
is done. Kinberg is a big part of Fox.
Exactly.
He does have a successful track as a producer.
The man still had the contract, actually, still. So it's like, even with them buying it.
That's going to be
Disney
expensive.
Purchasing the contracts as well?
The thing with X-Men is, except for Kinberg, I know the actors and the directors are just by a film-by-film case basis.
Oh, shoot. So then a contract like that doesn't really matter that much.
No. It's just like, what kind of talent will they want to take?
I see. Who's going to move up to the big show? That's a good question. And I wonder, that has a lot to do with how the trajectory of the film will go. If the films will actually even be made. But let's assume they will be made. Will they be made with them? And if they are made with them, will they be taken care of with the same care that they had? I would think so. Like for Kinberg's baby, and like you said, is a whole Phoenix thing. I've been wanting to tell this story. I forgot how he said in the interview, I've been wanting to tell this story forever, and I'm glad I get to be at the helm. Or something like that.
Well, if Dark Phoenix bombs, then they're going to have a real good excuse for getting rid of him.
Very true.
But they don't necessarily need him. They have New Mutants. Oh, yeah, New Mutants is out. Is he producing that? Is he involved in that at all? I think he was too busy to deal with New Mutants. But he, if anything, he definitely has his name on it because I think he has to get producer title.
Yeah, I think
for
so.
Every X-Men property, like Singer. So yeah.
Serenity. Replace the Brood with aliens for an X-Men film.
What?
Well, okay. Wait, what do you mean when you say replace the Brood with aliens? I mean, pretty much we kind of replaced them in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, which was interesting. But, I mean, they replaced them with something that actually did exist that's connected to the storyline as far as Earth being destroyed, blah, blah, blah. But we'll talk about that later.
So, again, we covered this on our website earlier. One of our writers, Josh, wrote an article. Should X-Men be rebooted? Should they be messed with at all? Should they be left alone or brought into the MCU umbrella? But Bob Iger came out and said that he will incorporate Deadpool, Fantastic Four, and X-Men into the MCU.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be standalones.
Now, the thing is how to do it. And that was a question I asked earlier, and I thought about it, but I said maybe not. I mean, you can play around with the whole Heroes Reborn storyline in a way. I know that's old Marvel, but I mean, if you need something that you can still base it in and still work with everything else that's happening, Heroes Reborn is an option. Doesn't mean it's actually going to work out, though. And the logistics of it now wouldn't work out too well, except for the fact that, hey, there's this alternate kind of reality that these people have been trapped in, and it's because of something to do with one of the Infinity Gems, which makes sense, or stones, whatever. And now we're able to bring them in. Great. But why were these specific people all trapped away and the others weren't? That's where a big question comes in, and you have to play with it.
Right.
Or it can be as simple as, okay, well, Thanos knew that they would be able to kind of stop him, so he kept them away. And that could work out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know.
And they have to decide what age range are they going to bring these characters in.
Ooh.
Is it going to be the Singer original trilogy ages? Is it going to be the Matthew Vaughn First Class ages? I mean, the big thing is like, okay, so Magneto and Xavier are supposed to be like in their 60s, 70s now, in the 90s. No, maybe 50s, 60s. Yeah.
2015. That's why I said it's something that. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, Secret World Wars is something that they could do. It would be really cool.
Shield. But you were saying, so the whole
the whole age 70s, thing, they have to.
Oh, jeez.
It's so rough because like in the article mentioned, like Magneto is a Holocaust survivor, so he would be 99, more than 100 years old at this point. I think there's only 1 or 2 survivors left, and they're like 108.
I can't believe it, but I am chuckling at the idea that, I mean, at one time I would never have dreamed, I never thought of it, like, man, how are we going to stop retelling the story? I never thought it, but now that you get older and you start to figure out things, and you're like, yeah, we can't keep rehashing this story.
So maybe it's just a matter of Xavier and Magneto do not come in this world, in this package. They don't exist any longer. They have passed on. There's Emma Frost now. They're Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Scarlet Witch. Well, then, and now that's the question. So are you saying that maybe we introduce the whole storyline of House of M?
You could do House of M, where a Scarlet Witch, that's the one where Scarlet Witch warps reality, right?
Show the pic. The House of M. It literally at that moment. You're right. Yeah.
Also, you got Storm, Cyclops. They had up the Wolverine. They had up the X-Men at one time. Yeah. So this is not all hinging on whether Xavier and Magneto come, because they have so many more conflicts and leaders in the X-Men, and I wouldn't be too sad about that. If only for the ages to make sense.
I wouldn't. I mean, the thing is, the House of M, there it is.
Yeah.
Like, no more mutants. Literally, when she says that because she had a bad day, all of a sudden, all the mutants are gone. And that's not fair to all the mutants. But if we get to that point where she's able to warp reality, as we said before, there's a lot of things that have to happen for us to get there. One, to point out how important she is to the MCU then. At this whole time, we've been downplaying her.
Yeah, that could happen in Infinity War Part 2.
Very true. Now, is she going to need an Infinity Stone to make it happen, or is she going to be able to do it?
Well, apparently that was like a manifestation of her powers, where she was able to go from creating all this chaos to warping realities and could, fulfill wishes. Maybe she's trying to either fulfill someone's wish or right a wrong or right a death or something that happens. And it kind of brings the X-Men into play, where Magneto rules America. But, of course, again, it's like the age thing. So they're going to have to do a Days of Future Past where they replace, Magneto with someone else who makes more sense.
Again. That's going to be so much
It's
work.
like my brain hurts just talking about this.
Because there's so many ideas, but the thing is, it's like, okay, we have all these different storylines where we can play along with it, but the thing is, which one are we going to actually choose, and which one's going to be, quote-unquote, flawless enough for us to actually run through? Let me see here.
I think they should bring the X-Men in, and they're
mutants age slower just because. That is true. Or Steve Rogers them all. Yeah, I'm not going to do any of that.
It's lost.
Let me see. What? They've all been gone for so long.
OMG.
That could be it. Let's say say that's what the case is. They've been on the island for that long, and finally Cyclops looks over at Jean, says,
Matthew Fox is Cyclops.
Jean, we've got to go back. You know, and he does that. That's my best Cyclops impersonation. That's all he does. Jean. That's all he does. Just different tones of Jean in the cartoon. Serenity, I always love to know what Serenity says. Serenity says, well, they could do separate films. Yes, of course, I agree with you. Like they do with the Star Wars films. One that takes place in the present with one team. Other films would be prequels.
Sure, they could, but the CEO already came out and said that's basically what's not going to happen initially. They want to fold these characters in. They're not doing what DC might be doing. DC doesn't even know what they're doing. They're not going to do all that where it's like one timeline here and another timeline there, and then there's the DCEU.
Because
they don't want to do that.
Well, question right there. How do you reconcile that history, though? That's the question. And it's like,
because I don't want them retconning Magneto's backstory. I think Magneto, that's all ingrained on what happened to him during the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. I think he's like one of the only backstories you can't really change
it's a driving
properly.
Force. It's a driving force which makes him what he is. Yeah. And the thing is, we were spitting around ideas, and I did say, well, okay, why can't we just do civil rights and then change him black? I mean, originally they were based on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, so why don't we just do that? But the thing is, the gravitas of the civil rights versus the Holocaust. I'm not taking one down for another. Calm down, guys. But I'm just saying the truth is, when it comes to the Holocaust, people were taken out of their homes. Yes, it did happen for the civil rights movement as well.
It was complete genocide. It was attempted genocide.
The thing is, it was a literal genocide in a country where other people couldn't get to and stop it from happening. Where here it was genocide for blacks, let's be honest. But the mass level wasn't as much as it was for the Holocaust, and that's where there happens to be that difference. And with that, in our way, it was more institutionalized by them versus, oh my God, socially, it was in so many different ways. And with those two, the dichotomy between the two, it makes it where it's like it takes away if you do it for let's turn it black and make it a civil rights thing versus
which
Auschwitz.
I was toiling with too, but I just think it's so heavy, it's so real, it's so dark, and I think that he's just one of the only characters you can't touch the backstory on.
Mm-hmm. So if we keep his and not age him, so how do we bring him in? And
I think you have to kill him. He's got to go.
Well, my option,
Sir Ian McKellen's got to go.
My option is bringing up something that can work, where there are people that would be involved in this whole thing.
Wait, 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm going to rewind a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they knew this? Well, they probably didn't know this was going to be finalized, but they have been going back and forth for the better part of 2017. This is why they haven't come out with anything for Phase 5?
Just letting you guys know right now, you just dropped the bombshell that everyone chooses not to speak about.
This is probably why.
That's exactly
it. They were like, let's just wait and see what happens. There's no big rush because we're still 3 movies away from Phase 4 being done. Yeah. So we still have time.
See, and that's exactly it. You did hit it right. You hit the nail right on the head. The thing is, we've avoided talking about Phase 5 because Marvel knew. I'm telling you, the mouse knew that they were going to be able to get this to this point.
I mean, Mickey is a sorcerer.
That's
Didn't you see Fantasia?
Yeah, the Fantasia.
Wait, isn't that the American Idol?
Fantasia. She just gets on it.
I
can see. Yeah, we all saw Fantasia. I loved American Idol.
Phase 4?
Phase 4, yeah, it's Phase 4, not Phase 5.
I was about to say, Phase 5 doesn't even sound right. I thought we were in Phase 4.
No, we're not in it yet. We haven't, right? I know. You're like, how many years does it take? God. No, we are busy with Phase 3, you're right.
Thank you.
And getting into Phase 4, that's the thing where it's like they made sure not to say anything. And you hit it right on the head. They knew that they were going to get this done. They knew this is what they were pushing for. And they didn't want to announce anything because they got so much closer once Sony was like, look, we can't make a Spider-Man film without you. Once they got that, and they were like, all right, now let's make sure we put that out in the public, showing that we're ready to work with you because we care about our properties and our names so much. We'll help you to make money. And that's what they did. Once they did that, and Sony was like, thank you. Oh my gosh, look what they did for us. We're having a horrible year. At least we have something that didn't get us out of the red, but the film itself automatically was out of the red. Yeah. And that's what they were talking about. And that's what Marvel was like, hey, look at that, Fox. See what we can do? we can help you too. And that's what's going on. So now it all works together, and boom, they've got it. I'm just saying.
Now we can fast forward back to your Magneto.
I'm shading my own show. How dare you?
You always shade the DC show, but you picked that show to be on.
When I'm on DC, I shade Marvel. I just do it all the time. Come on, I'm a weeping willow. I just cast shade.
This isn't your show. You're just like a guest star.
Exactly.
Every week.
I know. I am
Me and Joe's show.
It is. It's the Joe and Migdalia show, but I just love being here. I love being anywhere. People like to listen to me finally. But honestly, I didn't do truly DC. I shaded their film division. Their TV, bravo DC for that.
I bet you their film division's better than their TV division.
Really? You think so for DC?
You're the one who always bitches about The Flash and Arrow.
No, I don't. I bitch about Arrow. I love The Flash. The Flash is the best show on TV, I think. There's no joke about it. You watch Gifted, you watch Flash, you're like,
Nah,
I kind of see why I'm watching
there's
Flash.
Gotham still.
Oh, wow. Don't. Let's.
Love Gotham.
Jeez, even though you love it, there's something to be said about it. But anyway, we're talking about Marvel. We're talking
okay,
about
fine.
Marvel.
I should be on the DC show.
Marvel. Hashtag Cashade. You should show up one day. We'd love to see you. We'd love to talk about things. We'll talk.
We'll talk. I have my people call your people.
We'll have coffee. We'll sit in a room with columns.
Oh, before we forget to mention, guys, you're going to have to put your Hugh Jackman dreams away. It's not happening.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys.
When he made that statement that he would only come back to do Wolverine if MCU acquired Fox, he didn't think that was going to ever happen either.
He didn't think that was going to happen. And now when it did, he's like, God, I can't do an Australian accent, but I can imagine where he's like sitting there watching TV and it happens and he's like, honey, we gotta move. We gotta move. He just had to look over.
Here come the questions.
Because he can't do it.
He already denied that during the press junket for Greatest Showman, which should be out around Christmas. And he's like, no, I'm still not coming back. I'm sorry. I mean,
Magicians is the best TV show on the air. Magicians is a good show, though. I'm not going to lie about that. It's a really good show. But,
Andy's like, wait, on subject of Gotham. Disney owns Gotham now. Wow!
Oh, God! Oh, God!
No!
How does that work? Oh, my God!
Disney can't...
My life! Everything is wrong!
Okay.
It's like when Scrubs was on Fox and then moved to ABC.
Oh, yeah, the production house versus what's actually where it's...
Oh, yeah, distribution.
So
okay,
no,
guys,
really,
just like relax. That's
Andy,
distribution.
you freaked me out for a second,
They
Andy.
do own distribution rights for it.
Right.
They do own distribution rights.
Because it's still under Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God,
Okay.
Andy, you freaked me out.
I know, you freaked me out. I was like, the House of Mouse does not belong in Gotham City.
No. But, okay. My idea of
They're not
going to
digitally recreate Hugh Jackman. There are other actors out there. Like the one I fan casted.
They're going to do...
Carl Urban. He would make a great Wolverine.
He is, because he's not that tall. He's kind of, and he can... Oh, man. Ooh.
Right?
I like it.
Right?
Guys, what do you think?
We're going to have to put that back on our website, the
Wolverine.
fan cast.
Could you do that? Like, should we make it a hashtag? Hashtag
Like
Carl Urban Wolverine.
But you know what? I just found out he's basically as old as he looks like. He's like 45 years old.
Yeah, but Australians, they have they age like mutants or Captain
It doesn't
America.
matter though. It's like their body. Like Hugh doesn't want to do it anymore because he likes to just commit to the role and wants to get his body as jacked as it looks. Hugh Jackman as it looks.
Well, yeah.
Hugh
Jackman.
Jackman.
I love that. There's a rapper actually named Hugh Jackman. Just like
I'm sure
he's a
there
SoundCloud
is.
rapper. It's whatever. Anyway,
It's
he's
really
funny,
too
though.
bad that they wasted the Registration Act storyline on what happened in Civil War. It wasn't good enough for that.
So what I was saying is an idea to bring them back. It can be the whole thing of, well, all right, for example, Fantastic Four existed, let's say, in the 60s. And they had some big cataclysmic event. That will be the first film for them as far as in Marvel. And somehow, through the end of the cataclysmic event, they have to go into this kind of negative zone. And that's where they ended up trapped, lost, or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
With them being there at that moment, they didn't realize that it wasn't just them taken in. It was all of Fox on the MCU that was all dragged into this separate kind of reality, a separate world. And they haven't aged. Their stories have been going on, but they haven't aged. And finally, we'll use Infinity Gem or one of them to bring and pull them all back. So we'll get that moment. So we won't have to worry about, could you please show me that Fantastic Four poster? We won't have to worry about that Fantastic Four film ever again. Josh,
Disney is not instantly
can you show me that
canceling
Fantastic
Gotham
Four?
and Legion and Gifted.
Fantastic Four poster?
What Fantastic Four piece?
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I said.
We choose not to recognize this.
We choose not to recognize this as an actual film.
I still didn't see that film. I
trust
kind
me,
of
you
want
didn't-
to though. I feel like because I saw the first two with Tim Story's Fantastic Four, like I have to see this one. That's like watching, I don't know.
Oh God! It was good until
The
they
Thing
got
looks
their
good.
powers. Then it
That's
all
what I
went
heard.
downhill. It was so bad. They were like, "We're gonna go dark. We're gonna go edgy.
Well, I
we're gonna
heard-
make sure
well,
that there's no
that's-
Jessica Alba acting." It was great, and then everything went bad. So,
Excuse me. That's when the shift in directing happened, though, right?
They
It was either like Fox put their hands really deep in there, and that's why there was such a change, or like that was the point where Josh Trank got like fired, basically.
yeah, well, Josh Trank.
And Kinberg, I think Kinberg had to finish that movie.
Oh, craptastic for is what they're calling it. That's true. So Gotham Legion gifted. They think Disney will instantly cancel them.
The
all.
MCU fanboys.
Oh wow, that's not gonna happen, dude. That's not gonna happen. And also that means you have to count Lucifer in that also.
No, because you know what? TV
and
shows
it's not
equals
gonna happen.
commercials equals sponsorships equals money. As long as they're getting the viewership, they're not canceling these shows.
That's pretty much what happens in all of production when it comes to TV, and that means that they will not end those shows. They're getting steady as far as when it comes to what they're getting for promotions and everything like that. These shows don't depend on selling toys like they do for animated series. So with that, it's all about selling time. It's all about making sure we can get that out. Gotham has become syndicated. It became syndicated during season 1. And they have not stopped. They have sold time for that show on so many places. Same thing, actually, with Funny Enough. Legion is not, but it's becoming syndicated. And they are looking to sell
It's on
like
Hulu.
ridiculous.
It just got
Oh, yeah,
uploaded to
there you go.
Hulu
Boom.
the other day.
So Legion is already now syndicated. And Gifted, I think they said that was their whole goal was automatic syndication for that. But we'll see. But once again, there is a market for these shows. People love watching them, and they're not going to go away if people continue to watch them and they get advertisement. So,
Okay. I have another idea for the X-Men to come in. Okay, so X-Men versus the Avengers, which was a comic event surrounding the Dark Phoenix storyline. The Dark Phoenix coming to Earth and wreaking havoc in Wakanda.
I'm sorry. Shout out to you, Serenity. You are right. You called us on it. We
What?
made a mistake. Last week, Serenity did point out the whole thing about the Phoenix Force is more like a retcon. It's not originally.
Oh, yeah, I
it's there.
commented on
Yeah,
that.
that's right. But I'm just saying, bravo for saying it too. But yeah, you commented on it too.
Yeah, I
That's
definitely
it.
like the
Well,
whole retcon thing. I don't like it being like some kind of suppressed alternate personality,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
okay. I can see it, but that's not how I like my X-Men
well, I mean,
storylines.
Yeah, you're like, oh, Jean Grey, great. What's cool about her?
I like it
She's
being a
bipolar.
space force. Yeah, because it's just like they don't take it all the way. They don't take it seriously enough. It's just like it's all half-assed. So I'd rather it be a space force or
And
whatever.
so this way you can't actually
NC,
blame
yeah.
Jean, and this way when Jean comes back, you're not like, who's this?
Also, because it just gives me creepy vibes with Professor X like suppressing it, and it's all about like taking away her agency, and it just like goes into a whole creepy realm that I'd rather just like purge out of my mind.
Hashtag respect my agency. I can't- no, mm-mm. But go
So
ahead.
again, with the X-Men versus the Avengers. So what about like at the end of Dark Phoenix?
Okay.
Which I don't know if this is gonna happen because I already read the script and I don't think this happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe Scarlet Witch ripped some kind of reality portal.
Okay. all
Okay, right?
I'm running.
And then
with
they're doing this whole Dark Phoenix thing in next year's film. I knocked my bun out of place. Okay, I gotta fix it. Okay, so and then the two worlds merge somehow. Like they get merged into 2017, so it's like a fish out of water X-Men film with the Dark Phoenix.
Ooh.
And they take that into there, and they're back in Wakanda, which I know it'll never happen because they're dealing with Thanos and everything. But whatever.
What's the event that happened last year? DC had Convergence, and Marvel had.
It was.
What did we do? We did
No.
Marvel now. We also did Marvel. Right now we have Legacy.
It wasn't Infinity. It was the one after that.
Oh, jeez.
Secret. That's not Secret World.
Not Secret
War-
Wars.
Yes.
Wars.
Was it Secret Wars?
Secret. Okay, that
was
was
like
after like
2015
Infinity.
to
Yeah.
2016. That's
Where,
true.
like the animated universe and everything just all.
Yeah.
Oh, the Ultimate and the yeah, that's right. And then we brought everything back into one world, but yet, yeah. That's
The only thing
right.
is just too much epicness, especially with what's going on with Thanos, and like they already shot Dark Phoenix, but that's like one way they could have went.
We're gonna have to let those movies run its course, and then after they're done, when we start up with Phase 4, that's when we're like, "Yo, we're going all in. Be ready because you thought this was a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're setting up something that's even far beyond that." So it's like bringing everything together. But what's our newest cataclysmic event after we've gone, let's say, another 10 years and we've introduced everyone? I wonder what cataclysmic event are they going to do to affect the entire Marvel universe? Because
how
now
does
we'll actually have the entire Marvel universe.
Fantastic Four play into it?
Just reboot it.
I mean, Galactus.
Phase 5, the whole reboot.
See, my thing was Galactus. Think about something that comes to really.
But are we going to be ready for that after
level.
Thanos? Are we going to be ready for that?
I don't think we are, but that's what makes it great.
That's going to be too soon.
That's what makes it great. After Thanos, you're like, dude, what else could there be? Oh, the world finally, we went through this whole thing and we survived. What else is next? And Thanos is like, well, you just beat on my radar and I'm kind of hungry.
I think we should go back to being a human threat.
Oh, you think so?
A la Civil War, the Registration Act, what X-Men goes through all the time, the Mutant Registration Act.
But how will that affect the rest of the entire Marvel universe?
Because all the mutants would have to register.
So you really want Avengers AVX, right? That's what you want then? Avengers versus
no, I want
X-Men?
a real Civil War.
But we're not going.
Real.
The only way we can have a real Civil War that would have to be Avengers versus, because think about it. Avengers would be in one way kind of like a government kind of entity, all standing there, protecting the world, a whole world government kind of thing. And then the mutants, which are X-Men, who are kind of volatile in that way, where they're new to this world now. And then also besides that, they have the whole thing where it's like, hey, we're mutants. It's not our fault we are what we are. Why do I have to register? That's not fair to me.
Right.
I'm born this way. While Avengers, almost every one of them is like, oh, some accident, or I happen to have a lot of money, blah, blah, yada, yada. All that stuff. So they can choose to exist, whereas the other people are like, I had no choice. I was forced into this. So, AVX. And it's on a planetary kind of level.
Planetary. Serenity has a question. Who do you think will be the next big bad after Thanos now that Disney will have access to all of those characters?
So I was just hitting that, and I'm thinking,
probably Galactus, right?
I do see. I like Panther, King the Conqueror, perhaps, because that has to deal with time travel and everything else. I do like that. Scrolls is something that I think could be something as far as Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're gonna have Infinity War, but what's up with Captain Marvel? Last time I checked, she's over there dealing with the Skrull War right now, the Skrull and the Kree. So that could be something, but I think they'll address that before Infinity is over. I think in every other kind of venue. So, Secret Invasion. God.
Producers feeding us all this.
Yeah, I mean, Secret Invasion is possibly something. Jeez. I don't know, there's so many. I just really want my Galactus. That's just me,
Intergalactic and the Silver Surfer.
Come on, man. We can finally do the Silver Surfer properly.
This is my robot voice. I would like to see Lilandra come around.
Oh, well, I mean, aren't we going to kind of have her, but not really?
I don't know.
I hate that.
Everyone's playing coy until they make some kind of retcon change during post-production. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen?
Quick, Brian's gone. Let's write something else. And that's how it's going to work. That's exactly it.
I think this just about rounds up our discussion. We'll just have to see what comes in the next year, what happens. Again, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. We'll see what happens after X-Men Dark Phoenix on the Fox side. I'm still going to say they're not going to go through with Gambit. I don't think it's going to be ready to film in February, to be honest.
Really? Okay, you know what? Let's make a kind wager.
No!
Kind wager.
I have a gambling problem.
Hot sauce is the answer.
Wait,
no,
what?
that hot chip, the Diablo chip.
What do you mean?
Okay, no, what we're going to say.
Wait, what is the bet?
Okay,
you
said
can't be like
February.
Diablo
No,
chip.
that's what I'm saying. Okay, February, you say it's not going to come out in February. I agree.
No, it's not coming out in
February.
February.
No, it won't be done. They won't be done with Principal by February.
No, they won't because they didn't start it. I'm saying they're never going to start it. They're going to scrap the film.
I would say you're saying they're scrapping it. I think in 6 months, they're going to announce that they have started Principal shooting on it. And 6 months after, they're going to actually have a date. So a year from now, they'll have an actual date.
They have a release date.
They're going to have a real one because that one's not real. We already know that. You agree and I agree and everything. They're going to say, because of the whole mix-up with everything buying, blah, 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 we had to stop, which they'll be like, oh, thank God, because I had nothing.
All right, Serenity, if Gambit gets made, we'll call and order you a deep dish pizza.
No, the Diablo chip from freaking Trader Joe's.
That's so easy.
Yeah, but
the Pocky Diablo chip you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
I'll come up with something.
Hot sauce. I'm thinking.
No, you're gonna make
no.
someone eat a cheeseburger.
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing that. That's why I said the hot sauce thing.
I'll get you a
Can,
Oh,
can,
look at his eyes, went crazy.
but can you eat that? Is that
Yes, I can
don't-
eat spicy.
No, the chip. I don't know if it's like.
Yes, it's vegan.
So you want to?
Well, he said he's gonna come up with something.
Yeah. I got it.
Oh, he's got something. He's. All
Okay.
right, I'll
Okay,
do
you
it.
want-
I'll do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, right here, it's happening. Look at my arm. It's so big. Oh my god.
They are aiming for a February 14, 2019 release date, so they got so much time.
All right, so then we're
So
gonna make
much-
it happen. No,
It's
I
not
won't.
happening. I'm sorry, Serenity. I don't want to really
It
break
just
your
is, so
Gambit
they
dreams,
have so
your
much
Magic
time.
Mike with the staff dreams. It's not happening,
He
Sunshine.
wants you to make it. That's what he's saying. He
No.
wants you to live. Wait, what? Do you not care
Yeah,
about
where
me
the
at
hell
all?
do you live? I ain't going over there. You gonna fly me to wherever you're
Wow.
at?
Wow. Okay.
Yes, you can go to
know?
Doughbox. What's Doughbox?
Oh. Is Doughbox one of those places where you can order like a pizza and have it shipped over like in the same like how
That's
they do like
weird.
a rush,
You wouldn't want
they
a
do
fresh
rush FedEx?
pizza?
No, they do like a rush FedEx thing. I heard about Doughbox. Somebody ordered something for
You
New
would,
York, and they
Pillsbury
had flow
Doughboy.
up. You know I would.
All right. So, any thoughts to round out the show? Before we close out?
Wakanda forever, but that's it.
Okay. Well, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below after the show, and we will comment on that as Serenity knows.
Actually, what I would love in the comments after this is done, tell us your theory or your way how they're going to be able to bring all of the Fox Marvel Cinematic Universe, the FMCU, into the regular MCU. We want to know your theories. Go ahead and put them in the comments. Break them down. Make them as detailed as possible. We'll figure out which one is best, and we'll pick a winner.
Put it in there, and we'll check again for After Dark tonight, because I don't think we're going to have a show next weekend.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
we'll go on
yeah.
a little holiday break,
Yeah, maybe we
unless
can do
something
that.
happens. Breaking news, which I don't think so.
No.
All the studios are like, bye
Yeah,
on
we're
Monday.
Like, what?
This
Disney
is when
buying
it
who?
is.
All right, Christmas time.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
All right. So thanks again, guys, for joining us for another week of Marvel Infinity Watch.
Yep.
This has been my lovely co-guest host.
Thank you. It's been an honor. I
Co-host.
appreciate it. I appreciate it because I like views and I'm not getting too many on DC. Anyway, damn you, Arrow. But I'm telling you, Arrow's the thing that's dragging us down. If we didn't talk about Arrow and only everything else, people were like, "Oh my god, watch the show."
Yeah,
every
that's
week."
what's dragging you
That's
down.
what
The show that you don't put on your thumbnail or the title. Okay.
it is on the thumbnail, unfortunately, and I don't know why. Curse you, Arrow. I still love the Amell brothers, but I just hate the show. So anyway, moving on. Thank you. It was an honor to be here.
It's lovely to have
I
you.
love being able to talk Marvel, especially with you guys. It's been great. And with that, let's. What do you want to say? Say goodbye. Say hello. Where can people find you?
Guys, you can find me in about an hour and a half. And actually, Joe will be back. In case you missed him. I don't know why you would, but.
You know they did.
They're like,
I love you so much, Joe. And Kat will show up because she's not here right now. But she'll show
We'll
up
be
for Joe.
talking. We'll be talking Star Wars for the After Dark show, and it's Joe. He likes to be a douche with these things, so there probably will be spoilers, but we will put a big spoiler alert.
On the thumbnail.
There will be a big
on the
spoiler
thumbnail.
alert in case you want to mute the show as we talk
Yeah.
about spoilers.
Hey, come on, Joe's Captain Spoiler. It's gonna happen, guys. So be ready for it.
Also, again, we might be taking a couple weeks break, but we will update you on that THS hashtaggers page on Facebook.
Yeah.
Unlike the DC show that didn't tell you that they were going on hiatus, because I didn't know that.
We're a mystery. We're such a mystery.
So where can we find you? You doing Power Rangers next week? Ginger Dale's done, right?
I'll be on Power Rangers. I'll be on Henshin Hangout because those are my shows. I'll also probably just show up here for Marvel because I.
Oh,
I
also,
don't
we
know
are
what's going on.
having, me, Kelly, and Sarah are having
Oh,
a
yeah.
special edition of Hashtag Horror
Yeah.
Picture Show
Yeah.
talking about the 20th anniversary of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That will take place during Ginger Dale's time slot
Yep.
next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. PST. And with that said, thank you guys for joining us. We love you. Hit like and subscribe to the show to keep up to date with everything trending.
In geek pop culture. Hashtag Battlestar
Wicka,
Goodbye.
wicka, wicka. Oh, wait, that's not the